Next, okay, still using this, but we're going to add some darker shade of either brown or red. This time I want to use Alizarin Crimson. Okay, you can use, again, you can use any shade of red that you have. Okay. Okay, so now I would like to leave, okay, I would like to leave this, okay, so I got lost. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then 1 and 2, okay? Let's just leave these two, okay? So we are going to paint around the 3 or the 4 leaves that we have or had left earlier, and then plus these two. Now, you don't have to worry about having like a perfectly even wash, okay? And sometimes you will notice that the colors would bleed through into some of your leaves. That's okay, because um, in nature, the leaves, most leaves don't really have perfect edges. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? The first 4 and the 2 leaves that we have chosen to leave out for this layer. If you have started to lose to lose sight of your sketch marks, that's okay. Use your imagination and um, try to leave out certain spaces for the leaves that you are trying to um, make visible through this negative painting. Wait lang. Hold on, hold on. I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay. All right. So we're done with our second layer of leaves, or our third layer of wash. Let me just try this. Okay. All right. So we still have a few leaves here. These will be the last layer of leaves. So on my Alizarin Crimson, I'm going to add brown red. And a little bit of mineral violet. Okay. And I'll just add some more water so it's more diluted. Okay. All right. Okay. I want this to be more brown actually, so I'm adding a bit more brown. Okay. So right now, we're going to leave all these 6 leaves plus the remaining leaves that we have, okay? Try not to get confused with all the curves that you're seeing. This is actually a nice exercise for focus. Like if you're feeling anxious, this is a nice piece to paint because it really forces you to just be in the moment, to focus on what you're doing.
Question, Michelle.
Yes?
Uh, you didn't actually draw leaves, di ba? Parang yung leaves mo, yung background, nagre-reverse.
What do you mean? I didn't draw the leaves?
Did, I think I missed it. Did you draw the leaves o
I
puro
did.
petals lang?
Ay, puro leaves siya.
No, no, no. I mean, the background.
Uh-uh.
Kasi you chose several leaves, I mean, yeah. You chose
Yes.
several leaves para mag-stand out.
Right.
These portions that you are choosing are leaves also na nagne-negative ano lang tayo, painting.
Yes. Kumbaga, ano, let's say, initially, I've drawn 20 leaves.
Yes.
Diba? I've drawn 20 leaves and then naglagay na ako ng water. Diba?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I dropped in all of the colors. Now, when the first layer was dry, okay,
Mm-mm.
out of the 20 leaves, I chose, let's say, just 5. Just 5
Mm-mm.
leaves.
Mm-mm.
So the first 5 leaves are left out
Mm-mm.
during the second layer, which
Okay.
I used burnt sienna.
Mm-hmm.
And then Okay, so that's the first layer of leaves, but our second wash, which is burnt sienna. And then for the second layer of leaves, our third wash was whatever was left on the burnt sienna plus alizarin crimson or any red that you have. Okay,
Okay.
so when I added the third wash, I chose another set of, let's say, 5 leaves to leave out. So for that alizarin crimson wash, I was not painting on 5 plus 5 leaves. So 10 leaves total.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
So parang nagle-layering ka.
Yes. Layering, pero we keep on deducting leaves.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank
So, okay naman? Clear naman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, no
Oo.
problem.
Okay.
I know this can be very confusing because, to be honest with you, the first time I tried negative painting, it was really hard. And what I did was not maple leaves. I just used the simple um, oval, oblong shaped leaves, the
Hmm.
ordinary leaves. So I can understand that this could be a bit more challenging if this is your first time to do negative painting because there are a lot of curves to work with.
Yeah. The thing is, kasi merong portions na walang drawing actually. So what happens to those portions?
That will be the ground.
Okay.
Yes. So we actually, okay, I'm gonna show you this one. Okay. So as you can see, ito, no
Hmm.
leaves.
Oo.
Okay. Ito na yung lupa.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Gets na, gets. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello po.
Yes, hello.
Question po, always around the leaves po yung pag-paint po natin.
Yes.
Okay po.
So, remember
Thank you.
kanina, after sketching, di ba after sketching, we wet the paper, we drop in all the colors. Yun
Yes
na
po.
yung pag-paint natin ng leaves natin.
Okay po.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome. Later on, when we are done with all of the layers, we will be adding veins to the leaves and also maybe splatter some browns on the leaves kasi di ba minsan the leaves have these spots, like dark spots on them. So we're gonna do that as well. Again, you don't have to obsess about the washes. Like, eto, di ba, this is uh, the last wash that I'm adding. Now, if you will see, sometimes some portions are a bit lighter kasi I have been like, this one is darker because directly from this, I went to here, di ba? But then as I brush it along, nagiging light dito. It's fine. You don't have to create a perfectly even wash. But what we want to avoid is the hard edges, the lines. We don't want to see lines. So as much as possible, work quickly as you're adding the layers because we're no longer doing wet on wet here. So if ever, like for this one, for example, ito, iniwan nyo siya muna for a few minutes. When it dries and you paint over it, since watercolor is transparent, you might still see the hard edge unless you're using a nice paper that allows you to scrub it and blend it, even if it's already dry.
So yung ground mo, later mo fill up if you have left it white, right? Or just parang...
Well, we don't want to leave it white.
No.
Diba?
I mean, if it has not really been touched with color masyado. So later, i-cover mo yung
Pwede.
ground. Okay.
Kunwari, kasi, okay, I'm gonna show you this. Ito yung una kong ginawa. Okay. Kita niya, it's very different from this. Okay. So, actually, I stopped at one point because the first layer of leaves is too pastel color. It's so light. I don't like it. It's not autumn. It's like spring. So, pag ganon, you can always go back to it naman and just add a layer. A darker layer of colors.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay. The reason why I asked you to draw not too light earlier is because as you can see, as we have added the layers, see the pencil marks are almost invisible.
Yeah.
Okay. But because we have been painting the leaves repetitively, as I've mentioned earlier, my mind is now sort of imagining it, even if it's not so visible, even if the sketch marks are not so visible. If you want, if you're, because you can do this with other types of leaves or even other items. Some of them, some of the artists I see, they use negative painting for forests. What you can do also is you can sketch on another sheet of paper and then trace it on your watercolor paper. And then, so as you're painting, you actually have a guide. You can do that. You can have a guide as to where your leaves are, where your trees are. Okay. Just this portion and we're done with the layers. Okay. Let me just blend this with the rest. There you go. Okay. Now this formed some mushroom. Okay. Ideally, we don't want that. So we just sort of brush over it. Okay. Just to minimize. There you go. Right? So this is your almost finished work. Okay. So at this point, okay, if you have an angled brush or a flat brush, you can use that. Or if not, you can use a small round brush. Okay. So I'm using an angled brush or maybe the flat brush because that's the one that I included in my list. Okay. So just the flat brush. Okay. And I'm going to get some brown red. Okay. So directly from my pan, I'm just brushing it against my palette, okay? So it's not too thick when I set it on my leaves, okay? So we're going to draw the veins, okay? So hold your brush perpendicular to your paper, and then you can just glide it. Glide it or stamp it, okay? Either way is fine. And as you're doing that, make sure that there is some space in between, okay? Something like that. Okay. The reason why I chose the flat brush is because it's really easy to add the veins using this brush, okay? And then from these lines, okay, we'll do outward V's again, okay? About 3 per line. Three pairs rather, okay? Something like this. Now let's do that for the rest of the leaves. Again, don't worry about forming straight lines. Once you've noticed that your brush is already dry, there's no more, there's not enough pigment, just reload. Okay, let me just tilt my paper. Any questions at this point?
Where are my leaves?
Did you lose them, Sandy?
Talaga, ano ako eh. Bale, basta pag-aaralan natin to.
Siguro, like, if you're struggling with it, maybe you can start with less leaves pero mas malaki.
Maybe bilog-bilog.
Yes, actually, oo.
Problem is kasi ang liliit pala ng nagawa kong leaves.
Ah, yes. Minsan kasi
Maganda.
mahirap.
Yeah.
Mas maganda kung siguro size ng palm natin. Ganyan.
Mas dramatic pati.
Ang mangyayari kasi, the smaller leaves actually, yung mga nasa ilalim. The leaves that we're just seeing, yung partial.
Hindi natin pinintahan lahat eh mo. Merong mga naiwan.
Yes. From the first wash when we dropped the colors, 'di ba? Nag-iwan tayo initially ng 4. And then nag-iwan ako next ng 2. And then the last one, ito na yung pinaka parang lahat na nang nakita kong maliliit, yun na yung iniwan natin. So, iwan lang ng iwan. Kaya siya negative painting kasi instead of, di ba tayo usually pag layers, we add, di ba? But then here, ang nangyayari, we identify muna kung ano yung gusto nating iwan. Yung una nating iiwan actually would be those that would look like they're on top. Kasi sila yung merong lightest color. And then, as we go deeper into the layers, yun na, nagda-darken na sila.
Hindi kaya ng brain ko ang focus. But as you said, it's a good practice.
Actually, you know, like sometimes, di ba, parang, kunwari, sobrang busy, and then, sometimes kasi pag sobrang hectic ng schedule, we find it hard to focus na eh. Parang, lahat sila sabay-sabay nating iniisip, di ba? So this one actually forces us to just focus on this. Ito lang. Kasi pag hindi ka nag-focus, papalpak.
What happens dun sa other edge? Di ba, ina-outline mo yung petal. So yung outer edge, yung kabilang edge nun, di ba magiging hard yung line nun?
Kaya kailangan, kung nakita nyo, as I was adding the layer, parang nilalagyan ko talaga siya ng tubig.
Oh, so soften pa rin, ano?
Kasi milk consistency siya. Dapat hindi siya masyadong thick. Kasi pag sobrang thick, magkaka-edges ka talaga. Makikita mo as you outline itong mga edges ng leaves.
Yeah, meron. Even the inside of the leaves, isa-soften din. Hindi.
Hindi.
Ano, para mas strong yung ano niya.
Automatic na kasi siyang nagso-soft. Kung nakikita niyo, 'di ba, parang yung transition, although ito kasi yung first natin, talagang very light sila. Kasi nga nag-wet on wet tayo.
Yeah.
Okay? Even if we put parang 'di ba kanina ang kapal ng nilagay kong kulay. Light pa rin talaga sila. Pero remember, after the first wash, yung next layer ko was burnt sienna. And then after that, nag-add lang ako ng red sa burnt sienna. So dahil nag-a-add lang ako nag-a-add ng color, yung transition from one layer to another is not so drastic. Okay, we're almost done. Actually, I've seen in some photos, autumn photos, that sometimes, di ba, syempre, in a garden or in a park, hindi lang naman maple tree yung andun, di ba? So, there would be a variety of leaves, di ba? But for this one, I didn't want to complicate it anymore. Kasi kung iba-iba yung shape, mas magiging complicated siya. Tsaka mag-iiba-iba din tayo ng color kasi yung ibang leaves would have, di ba? Some leaves nga have bluish tones, di ba? Parang ganun. So, ang ginawa ko lang dito is maple lang muna. But siguro later today, if you want to try this again, you can try it with yung yung sinasabi ni Sandy kanina na oblong leaves. Okay, so now we're done with the veins. Okay, we're almost done. Okay. You can add more brown red here, okay? Just add more brown red, okay? And this is the fun part. Just, just, make sure that your brush is fully loaded and then splatter lang. Tap the brush on your other brush, okay? And then clean up afterwards because it's going to mess up the rest of your table. Okay. All right. So that's it. We're done. This is our finished piece.
Ganda.
Thank you. I'm pretty sure that you can do the same. You can accomplish the same.
Nawala
Siguro,
na yung details.
ngayon lang kasi because you're painting and at the same time you're watching me, nawawala kayo. But on your own, mas kaya nyo mag-focus. Narinig ko yung mga brush mga huwaga. Tik, 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 tik.
Ano, naka-mute.
Ha?
Naka-mute, kaya natin.
Naka-mute ka kanina. You have questions, Sandy?
None, enjoying so far.
Yay!
I'll show you.
Kahit ayaw niya ng negative painting.
Oo nga eh. No choice. I'll show you.
Can I see?
There.
Saan ba?
Wow! Yan ba yung may ayaw? Grabe.
Asan? Wow! Oh, maganda.
Ah, Sandy, grabe ka.
I love it.
Para sa'yo.
Ayaw niya pa niya na. Paano pag gusto pa?
Karakter ang trabaho mo.
Pinagiging kami, Sandy.
Galing. Ang galing, ha?
Pero nawawala ako talaga yung leaves. Hindi ko alam kung saan ako mag-paint. Basta magpa-practice tayo.
Yes.
Pero you did something that's interesting eh. Nag-layer ka na ng background eh. No? Yung dinrap mo na yung mga yellow, orange, and green.
Yun yung first natin.
Right.
Ganun talaga. Parang ang nangyari, para lang, paano ko ba parang sapin-sapin.
Pero yung akin, dahil lost ako, wala ako nung nagpatong-patong na leaves. Wala, panay panay isa lang siya.
Mas evident yung first and second layer mo of leaves. Nawala ka na dun sa huli. Pero, siguro, ang maganda dyan, bago ka mag-paint, kung gagawin mo to uli, ang gawin mo, mag-sketch ka muna ng mag-sketch. Para yun nga, kahit ako, honestly, no, kasi actually, as you go dun sa, di ba ito yung first set natin First set, second set, and then this is the last set. Yung last set natin, almost the same color na ng ground, right? Okay. Now, pag ganun kasi, two things. Sa kaka-sketch mo, matatandaan mo sila. Kahit medyo dark na yung watercolor mo. Or, kahit hindi mo sila matandaan, kahit hindi mo sila ma-visualize in your mind. Because you've been sketching the maple leaf again and again and again, kaya mo siyang i-sketch na lang uli with your brush.
Yeah. Oo, ang problem ko is nawawala ako. Pero tingin ko, ang solution ko is that meron akong isa pang sketch beside me.
Yes, pwede rin yun, di ba? Mag-sketch ka, and then sketch it again, para, kunwari, wala ka na talaga, you can use that as reference.
Or take a photo of your sketch and have it on your screen.
Ay, oo, easier. Ang galing. Yes. Welcome. Any other questions? Okay, if there's no more questions, I'll turn over the floor to Beth.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Hello.
Okay, so...
Morning po.
Good morning. Good morning. Medyo stressful tayo today, no? Because I stream live on Facebook. They updated the live streaming app. I think they want to be like Zoom. You go directly there and use your camera to live stream. So I was having a hard time a while ago, but it worked on YouTube. So we're streaming live in YouTube and with the group, but I will share the recording later so that the group can see the live video. So for today, we're going to do this panoramic autumn scene. But the way I sketched it, the bridge became bigger. So that's the problem when you repeat another painting, no? So this one turns out that the bridge is bigger. Okay, hold on. My internet is quite slow. Okay, there you go. So the sketch became bigger. So I hope you can adjust your paintings later on. This will be in the Google Classroom. So I'm going to provide 2 videos for the Google Classroom. And I'm thinking of creating a video to create some of these loose geishas. So I had fun doing this. This one I made on hot press paper. The hot press paper, when you take a photo, this one is very clear, like coupon bond. So it's very good for illustration. But when you try to do it on cold press paper, this one is cold press. The green one, only Academy. I'm happy with the Academy. I've learned to, because there's no lifting so much. So here, when you scan this, there's texture. So it's hard to clean. But for this one, when you take a photo and when you scan it, it's so easy to clean the white mark. So if you are a graphic artist or you want to use illustrations for any of the invitation, like if you want to do cards and print them, ang ganda ng hot press. So, but of course, it's hard to control water on the hot press paper. Your strokes are very visible. So this one for me is more forgiving because the pigment stays on the tooth of the paper. This one is very smooth and the pigment doesn't stick so much because there are no crevices on there are no, what you call that? Basta there's no, the teeth, hindi siya, walang ups and downhill. So ito, very smooth. Pag nag-spread siya, bongga. Okay? So, yeah. So much spreading and so much blooming. So I like it actually. Here, oh. So that's the main difference. But for today, we're going to create some exercises for the rigger brush as well. So this is one. Okay, pardon the dirty hand. Okay, so this is the rigger brush. It's sometimes called an extended point brush. It's a rigger brush because you need this very fine tip. Now this one handles, excuse me, a lot of water. That's why it's big. That's why the belly is big. Okay, this is a leaf brush. It's a squirrel hair. But if you don't have this, it's okay to use your small brush or any fine tip round brush or any small brush at all. If you have Chinese brushes, some of my friends purchased Chinese brushes, and the rigger brush, this is one rigger brush that is on the set, so you can use them as well. Also, you can have this. This is a rigger brush from Princeton Select. If you have a hard time with a very soft one, this is a synthetic one. As you all know, I control synthetic brushes better than the very, very soft ones. But I like the leaf, no? This one is a very soft, but I like it. This one works with my hand. Where is the Neptune? If you also have this, the Princeton Neptune script liner, the squirrel, imitation squirrel, so it's very soft. It's not made from squirrel hair, but it imitates the squirrel hair. So it can absorb more water compared to this. But I need the, what do you call that? The stiffness and the bounciness of this brush. So take your pick, no? So you can choose any one of them, especially if you're using dry brush techniques such as this. I really use this brush. But in the video, you'll see me use the extended point, this one. So nice to play with it, okay? Just don't be so, what do you call that? Don't be so cautious. I just really played with it before I made the painting, okay? So there's a qualification to that. Before I did this, I practiced a little bit with the rigger brushes. The nice thing about them is that you can create these very, very fine lines. You can try to do that in your very, very small brushes, okay? But it's different with the script liner brushes. Okay, we're going to use, you can use your hake brushes or flat brushes. These are very soft brushes, so very nice. It doesn't leave any mark on your painting. It's very soft, no? Hake brushes, and if you don't have hake brushes, any flat brush will do, or any big brush that you have. If you have a big cat's tongue brush, they will work for the washes as well. These brushes are good, really good for washes as well. Okay, so those are the materials. But before we proceed, discuss how to do the proportion of these girls, no? These geishas. Okay, just a little bit of knowledge on these geishas. So in order for me to understand them, I really studied. Okay, so this is not one of my strengths. Okay, figure painting is not one of my strengths because, as you know, I don't draw. Okay, so let me just go down just a little bit. Okay, so that you can see. Yeah, okay. So what I did to study this is that they say when you're creating, and I learned this from my son's project because he's doing online classes and has art classes. So I learned from it as well. So pretend that you have this square, and I imagine this to be Oro chocolate. So this is a chocolate bar. No, I'm kidding. So it's one of our giveaways this month. That's why I am mentioning it. Okay, so that's my chocolate bar. Divided into 8 parts. Grabe, you're so quiet. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Normally, you will have 8, no? 8 ovals. That would be the length of your figure. Okay, I used to do this for calligraphy. Okay, so these are my regular practice for calligraphy. But in calligraphy, our ovals are on the 55-degree slant and they are not vertical. Okay, so normally a person would measure about 8 ovals. But since this is a girl, the measurement for girls is 7.5. So there's even bias, no, for girls. So 7.5. So they're not equal. So I'm going to divide this into halves again, and then create 7.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. Okay, so that would be the length of my girl, okay, of my geisha. So how do I proceed in doing this? So from this length, I am going to just extend the line and have that face. So this is the oval or the face of the girl. I'm going to draw about two of the ovals. The length of the oval would be the body of the girl. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down will be like a triangle shape. Okay, so imitating the legs of the girl or the person. And then since the geisha has parang, I don't know the parts. Now, some of my friends know what this is called. And I get confused with them. I only know them when I'm in Japan, for example. But after 2 minutes, wala na. I forgot it now what it's called. Okay, so there. And then I'm going to get 2 more. the length here and here for that proportion. So once I have established this one, I am now going to create a bun. Okay, so like a bun. If you want to have flowers, I'll just drop red here and the bun over here. Okay, so you can adjust the hair later, and then you can create a V shape for the neck of the geisha. Since our geisha is facing, I think it's facing here, I didn't bother putting any, let's say, the hand or anything. So I didn't put anything here. But if you want to play with it, I normally add like a rhombus shape thingy, shape over here to indicate the hands. But I don't put hands anymore. Supposedly there's a hand there. So I don't put that anymore because it gets messed up. It messes up my painting. I get frustrated and there. And then extend this one if you want it to be a skirt, a long skirt, and then add more draperies so that it's like flying. But if you don't like, it's okay as well. So there, that's the length of my geisha. Now, if you're going to color it, normally this is just paper, a regular paper I use for calligraphy. So it's about 120 GSM paper. I use colors to experiment with this one. Okay, get your tissue before I actually do this, no? So to familiarize myself and to know the size, to familiarize my eyes, to coordinate my hand, I normally use yellow ochre or raw sienna, any brown for the face. Okay, so I use that. And then you can play with the clothes. This is where I enjoy it the most. For example, I use a very light wash. I used a very light wash of, what would you like to have? Okay, let's try, because I use yellow. Oh, let me try green, okay? Let me see this. Okay, this is a warm green. I don't like warm green. Let's try the cool green. This Viridian green, okay, there. So I'm going to put a light shade of Viridian green, very light, okay? Don't make it hard first because the paper can only absorb so much. So there, it's a light green shade. Ooh, yeah. So if you like the color, very light, tea consistency, but it's not dripping. It's not dripping. Very light consistency, tea consistency, but the water on my brush is not dripping. Okay. Now I like blue because I have green. So I'm thinking of analogous colors now. So I'm going to have Taylor blue or any of your cool blues. Okay. Okay, Taylor blue will be here. You can skip some of the whites to indicate that there are patterns at the back of this geisha. You can even curve this if you wish so that it doesn't seem so edgy. And you can darken some of the areas here. Let it bleed. I like those bleeding. Okay. And then that's the second layer or some of the darker areas so that you can have more depth into your girl or into your geisha. Now that one is if you want it to be the neck of the girl, you may place again raw sienna. Okay. Raw sienna. There you go. And then for this one, let's have the Viridian green. And then drop your phthalo blue or any of your cool blue or any blue that you have. Okay. There we go. And then finally, the bun. So I'll use black. You can use any dark color, let's say dark purple. You can use that. Mix it with your, I just want to use black from this set to indicate the hair. Now, if you want to put, let's say, a crown of flowers, this one is already cream consistency. I'm dipping my brush directly at the pan So there, pretend that there are flowers there. Let me just check. There. Okay, and then of course, close the hair. This is cream consistency. Ta-da! Now, if you want to put umbrella, okay, so there's a difference in the color. This is lighter in real life. It seems dark on the video. Okay, there. And I'm going to put umbrella. Okay, I love to put umbrella to define the face because normally you wouldn't have this sketch over here. Remember, this is wet, so be careful not to touch the hair. Whatever color you have used, whether you use violet, pink, or any dark colors that you have. So let's say this is green, no? Let's have a contrast of colors for the umbrella. I want pink. Okay, let's make it a pink umbrella. So it's a light wash of pink. I will just create, oh, be careful with that. Don't do that. That's the thing that I am scared. Okay? Because it will spread. Black is not good when it spreads, but it's fine. If you can take it, then it's okay. So here, this part will define the face of your girl. Okay? If you want to put a ribbon here, that's also very nice. Now you want to wait for this to dry before you put lines, such as this, okay, or the umbrella. Okay, now while waiting for it to dry, this one is already dry. I'm going to put violet there, just to close or wrap the dress of the girl, or you connect. So you finish the look of the clothes, no? So this one, you can close it further because they're quite conservative. Let's close it further. Manang si teacher that. I'm such a manang. So let's close that. And then put violet, darker areas. Okay, so let's zoom out. So you can see there. I'm putting darker areas on some of the areas to indicate shadow, no? And to have a little bit of depth. There. Now on the floor, so while waiting for that to dry, to use, you can just, I just did this to create shadows. So I use violet and the blue. You may use dry brush technique. I cannot use dry brush technique right now because just 120 GSM paper. But the color that you use here to indicate that this is a floor. And to end the skirt. But in the painting, you don't have to do that. I just do this here so that you know if you want to play with these girls, no? Okay, there. Now, I think this is a little bit dry. You can get darker colors. I use violet. Okay, you can use a rigger brush for this if you want, so that you can have lighter color. Yeah, and then that's how we draw this geisha. And then you can have 3 of them, and you can have a lot of them, and you can play with them. Okay, so actually it's very addictive. My paper can contain 3 girls with umbrella. Without this umbrella, you can do 5. Okay, so the umbrella restricts the space that you use for these geishas. So that's one. Next exercise will be the rigger brush. So this is the first exercise. Second exercise, let's do the rigger brush. These are the things that you're going to do later in the painting. So I'm going to get sepia. This is sepia with burnt sienna, okay? Or any dark brown, 2 of your browns. Just mix them. Okay, now you need to achieve dry brush technique. So I use the rigger brush sideways. Okay, slowly go up. it's okay to shake your hand so that you create those jagged edges. And then once you got the trunk, see, I refilled, so it's okay. There. I'm going to make some of the bark dark. And then when you reach a certain point, you release the brush and create a very thin stroke such that your tip of the brush is touching the paper, and then create those tiny, tiny twigs. Okay? Create those tiny, tiny twigs. So nice on. That thinness I can only make that with the rigger brush, okay? If you can do that with your very fine brush, very good for you. But for me, with my hand, okay, so I'm putting darker tones on the connection between the bark and the twigs. And then you can play with it. Okay, later on, you can skip because we will be having the background with red, orange, and yellow, the autumn colors. Where's that painting? Wait. Okay, there you go. So as you've noticed here, with the background, they are just a spread of colors, which is so nice. You can skip like here. So from here, I skip and then skip. So it's very nice to skip. Okay, there. And then of course, this is your first and second layer. You can add one more layer to darken some of the areas if you like. Normally, the one at the top is lighter, so let it be. So if you want to add more, so just be happy. And I'm happy playing with all of these. So before I did this, these are the exercise that you're going to do with the painting. Okay. Another thing that I want you to do is create washes. Okay, so this one we need to practice. So these are the exercise. We're going to practice on washes before we proceed with the painting. Okay, I'm going to use, you can use any sketch paper you have. The 200 GSM paper is okay. I cannot find it right now. I'm going to use this. Okay. It's 100% cotton, 300 GSM. Okay, let me just zoom out. Okay, there we go. Wait a little, just a little. There. I am going to wet mine with clean water. With clean water, I am wetting the hake, okay? This is wet, but it's not dripping, okay? So, I am going to wet the entire paper. This is just scratch, okay? We are going to practice. But if you can practice on 200 GSM so that you know what's happening on your paper. Okay. So now the paper is wet. It's glossy. You can see it. You can even see the ring light. The paper, the water should be clean. Okay. So let it absorb. Let the paper absorb. You're waiting for that to absorb the water. Prepare your color. So for example, you would want to prepare your blue, your yellow, your orange, and your blue, your yellow, your orange, and your red. Okay. If you have 3 brushes, mas maganda. Para it doesn't get dirty. Okay. So you have your blue. I am mixing phthalo blue and ultramarine blue, but if you have cobalt blue, you may use it as well. Because this one is too bright, and I'm going to use ultramarine to balance that brightness. So I have this as my blue. And then, of course, the brush. Use your warm yellow, permanent yellow. Since my brush has blue, look at my yellow. It turned green, but that's fine. I'll deal with that later. Okay, I'm cleaning my palette anyway. So let's say this is your yellow. And then your orange, prepare your orange on your palette. And lastly, your red. Okay, so your red. Now, you can see your paper. The water has absorbed the water. Okay, so you can now put. I'm going to use a smaller brush, no, the smaller hake for this. Okay, so blue. Blue will stand for my cloud. So just a little, just drop a little. Because as you see in the painting, there's very little blue. So blue over here and blue over here. See what's happening now. Even if there's a white space there, it creates that atmospheric look because that's just water. Now, I need to put my yellow. Okay, let's put yellow. I'm going to get it here, here, and then mix it. It's okay to mix it with blue because you need greens anyway, no? That one will create the leaves from this part. So yellow all the way up to the, pretend this is the bridge. Okay. So we're just creating washes. So create yellow. Now look at the blue, it's spreading. I want this to be light. So if you want that to be light, I am going to dab very little, okay? But as much as possible, I don't like this effect because it's going to create harsh lines, no? There. So I still have my paper wet up to this point. It's still wet. I have an electric fan blowing at me right now. Then orange, since I've prepared my orange, hake brush. Remember, I'm using a hake brush. You can drop your orange, whatever you drop on this side, you drop on the other side as well. Even if the hair is falling, leave it there. Once you blow dry this one, we can remove the hair later on. So there. Oh, look at the colors now. I put pigment directly. So that's how you can get bright colors. If you feel that your color is not bright. And this is just sonnet. This is a student grade paper. I mean watercolor, student grade watercolor. But the paper is 100% cotton. The paper, like what I've told you, loves pigment. So when you put any pigment on watercolor paper, if it's cotton, the cotton paper absorbs it. So it really likes pigment. So now before I run dry, I need to put the red, no? Put the red. Okay. Put red. Okay, there. And while you look at this, right now, it seems that this one is full of colors. That's fine. You have to count 1 minute. Restrain yourself from touching this one because we're going to splatter. Right now, I am in no position to splatter because it's still spreading. If it's spreading like this, it means it's still wet. Okay, hold on. Please hold on for a while. Okay, now it's still a little bit wet, no? I'm still waiting. I cannot splatter at this point. So normally, I will have to wait a few more minutes. Okay, so let's test how far we can wait for this one. So these are the washes that you are going to encounter. Now that one, I really don't like that. So this one will hamper or hinder you from waiting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that, okay? I will spray and then just lift it so that it doesn't affect the others, no, so much. But be careful in doing that. It's quite risky. Okay, there. It is still wet, so I cannot splatter. I will wait for a few more minutes. See, it's still glossy wet right now. But I feel, mga siguro mamaya pa, I will splatter and create white edges. So now you feel, nawawala yung color, no? Parang nagla-lighten siya. I will add, just get another round brush. I will add a bit of brown to the red. Parang red-brown, okay? And then add it, para lang may dark areas ka, but still soft, no? On some of the areas here. Yan. And then wait for it. So that's fine. Don't worry so much. And this is how I like to make trees. I really don't like making trees with leaves and all, but this is something that I like and enjoy very much. Okay, so it's still not, Timo, I will splatter. It's working, so I think we can. Ta-da, and ta-da. There. It's working. So the splattering works now. You can, okay, let me just show you. See? It's working now. And you create highlights for your, not so much, because splatter so much, you will lose all the other colors. So now I'm going to blow this with a heat gun. Okay? So let's blow this with a heat gun so that I can do rigor. You can do rigor brush. And then proceed to the actual painting. So we're done with the geisha, we're done with the washes, and now it's time for the rigor brush. I'm just waiting for this to dry. Notice that when this one dries, the colors, you can see the actual color and you can see the splatter. You're able to preserve them. Look at that. Although this one has a hard edge, and I really don't like that, you can use a white sponge, like this one, to soften that edge. So if you don't like that, you can soften. Just a light touch while drying. Okay. Actually, that's a bad idea because you're drying at the same time. Okay, so there, that's how I remove hard edges. Okay, so now I find the splatters very nice. Especially on this side. So if you're going to splatter at the top. It's better here than here. But this is also nice because I want the light to be here for our geisha. Okay, so we want to focus the light from the geisha. Okay, now once you're done with this one, you can create your trunks, no? Okay, so we're going to create the trunks using the rigger brush. It's okay if that's the thing that's happening right now. Then go up. Okay. You can use dry brush. It's better if you have dry brush. Okay, and then create stems. You can skip. Now this one seems very off, so I'm going to make it thicker. Just a little bit. You can adjust, no? I adjust as I go. Here as well. And try your best to make it look like twigs. So I stop and I flick. Okay? So you have to have that confidence. I know it's scary, but I really enjoy doing this. Okay, but you have to learn to stop because baka magmukha siyang Halloween, no? If you enjoy it so much. Okay, there we go. So this is what we're going to do in this scenario. So we have the 3, and I hope you have your sketch already. Oh, I wonder how I can finish this, no? Sayang. Okay. So we're going to do this. So similar to what we did a while ago. Okay, let me just go out a little so that you can see the spread. Okay, and let me just fix my table before I do that. Okay. Okay. So here's our 5x15 panoramic paper. I'm getting a new clean set of water. Wait, I'm going to get clean water. I should clean my brushes as well. Okay, so I'm going to wet this part. Okay, let's wet. I'm using a different brush because I think my brushes are dirty. Let me just use this so that I'm sure that the water is clean. There you go. I'm wetting. Okay, except the girl, okay? Except the geisha, okay, and the bridge. So it's wet. Let the paper absorb the water, okay? While you're waiting for the paper to absorb water, let's prepare our colors. Okay, again, I'm going to mix ultramarine and phthalo blue, but if you have cobalt blue, you may use it. If you have cerulean blue, you may use it as well. I like cerulean blue for skies. So here I just mix phthalo and ultramarine. Then I'm going to prepare my yellow. Okay, so yellow. Actually, you can use yellow first so that it doesn't get dirty. Okay, yellow with water, clean water. Where's my other spritzer? Yeah, ta-da. Okay, and then clean my brush. Orange. And then put water because it's too thick. Okay. So that's why if you have lots of brushes, it's easier. And I'm going to use my red. This is crimson red, not the pinkish red. But you can use pink also. I like that also. Okay, so I'm gonna mix it with a pinkish red. This is it. There you go. It's very nice. Ta-da! It's like your rose madder. Pinkish red is like your rose madder. Opera is too bright, no? So this is like, basta rose madder ito. Then this one is like a crimson red. So yeah, we're complete with colors. And by this time, the water has been absorbed by the paper. So now we can proceed. I'm just cleaning my brush again to be sure because I'm gonna dip it in blue. Okay, it's clean. So I'm going to drop blue here. Now you feel that it's dry. You can spread, no? You can wet. We can wet with, but it's still spreading, so it's still wet, okay? There. Now, if you, yeah, that one is dry. I'm going to, and please don't be afraid of this. There, I'm going to spray water and then use your flat brush. If you feel the water is so much, no, drip, and then clean. Magwalis kayo ng tubig. Tada! Okay, so it's softer. It's not so harsh, and it's softer, and you can lift some of the areas with your brush. My brush is damp, okay? It's not dry. There. So it's like brushing away some of the colors if you don't like it, and wetting your paper if you feel it's dry so that you don't get hard edges. And tada, I'm happy with that. I'm gonna get my brush. I'm gonna work with yellow. I need to make sure that my brush is clean. So let me just check if this brush is clean. Okay, it's clean. I have a test paper beside me. So I'm going to put yellow. See, since the temperature is not the same, this one is seeping through the water level. Oops. Okay, I just lifted. Okay, there. You can cover some parts if you feel, I feel that the bridge is too big. I'm gonna cover some of the parts. Okay. To make it seem like they are covered by the, okay. Now that one really bothers me. It's dry, diba? So I'm going to tilt my paper. I'm standing up right now. So I'm going to tilt my paper there and just let it spread over there. Because I don't want it to sip on the blue. Okay. Since I did that, I'm going to dry this part because if you let it be there, it's going to have a bloom on your paper. It's going to settle there and you're going to have bloom. That's spreading, that's fine. But if you don't like it, just lift it, okay? Okay, now the color is lighter and I don't like it. I'll put more. Then I'll put more blue. There, and then I let it mix on this side. Okay, there, I'm happier. And I'm making sure the sides are clean. The sides are okay. Okay, there. Ta-da. Next, put your orange. Drop. If you can splatter, splatter. It's going to spread anyway. Orange. Diffuse that color. Anything that you see is black, diffuse. Okay. I'm putting orange. Don't panic, it's okay and it's fun. There, and then red. Drop red. Skip, okay? Red over here, just a little. And then brown. Add brown to your red to have a darker shade, no? For autumn. So let's put those there. Not so much here, but you can put it here where we have a lot of space. There. And now we can set this, no? Set, I'm like the hair, set it. No, I'm kidding. Let's use a blow dryer. It's still dry. It's still wet. We're going to splatter. I just need a certain moment, no? Before this one really dries up. So right now, I'm making sure this one doesn't get there. Okay. It doesn't settle because it's going to bloom back. It's going to go back to the paper and bloom. Okay, this one you can, the ones on the bridge. Okay, now I feel it's still wet, but not yet dry. I'm going to splatter. This one is still wet. It's still glossy. So I know even if I splatter, it won't take any effect. Once you see the gloss is gone, you can splatter. See? And now I'm going to let it dry so that I can set the letters and the colors. So if this one becomes pale, I'm just gonna, I feel that it's pale. Oh, there. I'm going to wet and then put more colors. Okay, then I'm going to dry it again. And remove that bead of water. So you know that it's wet because it's still glossy. There. Okay. So now you know that the background that you're going to create will not be the same all the time. So, but I'm happy with that. And I am done with my background. So we're going to do the bridge first, okay? Before we do the geisha. So be careful here. This is the geisha. This part of the bridge is at the back of the geisha. This one is in front of the geisha. So be aware of that. Okay, now you can breathe for a while. Let me breathe for a while because it's dry. My paper is dry. Okay. I am going to use, what color is this? A light, I think it's raw sienna. Raw sienna. Yeah, it's raw sienna. Let's put a little bit of burnt sienna. There. I'm going to put it on the bridge. Okay, be careful pala. That one should be a highlight. But if you missed it, we can put white later on. So that. Just color that. This is the geisha. Skip it. And then go here. Tada. I forgot to stop. Okay. And then here. This is the other bridge. If it dries up, that's very nice actually. So I want that kind of technique, no? It's dry brush technique. Now, while still wet, drop some burnt sienna, a darker brown. Just make it dark. I put sepia to make this dark brown. Yeah. There. Okay. I put sepia. Now, you can have these pillars, yung part ng bridge, I forgot, no? Basta kung ano man yan, I forgot kung anong tawag dyan. Please let me know what these are called. Okay, raw sienna. Okay, and then here, I would add blue. Okay, blue. This is phthalo blue. Or the mixture that you have kanina. Yeah. And then, with your, mix your phthalo blue with a little bit of the brown that you use to make it darker. And just drop some, no? Para kang nagka-create ng, yan, just drop it. Para lang meron tayong feel na parang, ano kasi siya eh, wooden bridge. So there, just drop it. And then this, so this is wet, no? I'm going to use my raw sienna again with your yellow. And add a little bit of red, just a little, to make it brownish, but the yellow should be more visible here. Tea consistency, this one should be transparent. Okay, it's okay. Actually, you should skip the geisha. Okay, there. Leave that light. And then, let's add a little bit of orange to this bridge. Yan, I like it better now. Okay. Let it dry. And then let's go to the bottom. Let's put some of this. Para siyang, ano nung bridge, yung pillars. So light brown and then put a dark one there and then soften. I'll just wet it. Wet it. Drop some blue. Yan. Just wet it. Ta-da. Just to make it soft, no? Yan. Next, we can go to the geisha now. Okay. So you can go to this girl. Since we lost the white, you can put white later with a white gouache or anything that you like. Or while waiting for this to dry, we can put the chunks of the trees, no? Let's do that. Okay. Ta-da. Do I still have time? Yeah, I still have how many minutes? Oh, 3 minutes. Okay, I'm almost done. Okay, sorry, Nina. I'm almost done. So here, stems. Use sepia. I want the darker one. Dry brush technique. Okay, I'm establishing the trunk first. Some are thin, some are thick. Vary it in terms of size. Yeah, the dry brush is welcome. Now let's create thinner ones. Ta-da. You stop so that you can have those. Stop and then go, stop and then go. Ta-da. And then of course you can do that. Just enjoy creating these stems and practice if you like. I added water so that it would flow. I'm using a synthetic brush. I could have told you I am a fan of synthetic brushes. Okay. There we go. Let's make this tree more believable. Okay. Then this,
Bet the video was cut.
Oh, no. Wait, ha? What happened to you? Did you get disconnected? Wait, ha?
Yan.
Okay, thank you. What happened to my video? It's baliktad. Wait. There. I think I lost connection, that's why. Okay. So what did you miss? Anything you missed? And can you remove the spotlight first so I can pick?
I think the bridge.
Okay.
What did you color the rails of the bridge?
It's still brown. Okay, I know what to do now. Okay. There. Okay, there you go. And then, okay, so I stopped at the bridge. I did this, and I am going to do this here on this side. So it has to be dry, no? Dry brush effect so that you have those very nice twigs. Let me just fix this. Okay, so it doesn't attract attention so much. Okay, now here, let's add some darker browns. This is darker, this side, the right side is lighter. So I am putting darker side on the bridge, on these railings, to give them parang volume. Skip it. So dito sa side na to, ito ang light natin. Let's try darkening this side. Okay. Hindi ba ko ang light source? One of the areas is dark. Tada. Okay, also here, add some darker browns on the side and at the top. To have ano lang, depth. Okay, here. Minor lang. And we can go to the Geisha already. This one is different from the one I had in the tutorial because it's very little, no? It's maliit eh. Now, while you're still on the bridge, you can add this now using a rigger brush. I use orange for this and I use sepia for the darker areas here. Okay. Now let's go to the Geisha. Again, let's start with the clothes. Huli natin yung mukha. Use your smaller brushes for this, especially if you have a hard time. It has to be moving, but it's not so wet, okay? I'm going to use violet, a light violet for this one. Violet. And then blue. And then pink. So my violet and my red has mixed, no? Okay, there. Which is nice, which is what I like as well. Okay. Remember to not so wet. I'm lifting some. Okay, now I'm going to go to the umbrella. Okay, what color the umbrella? Okay. Let's go for red. Light red, please. Okay, there we go. And then I will just use water for this part. Okay. And to darken that area, let's use dark brown. But let's do it later because it's going to spread now because it's wet. Okay, now your yellow ochre for the face. But we cannot put the hair right now since the umbrella is wet. So let's wait for it to dry a little bit. Okay, there. And we are almost done. I'm just going to blow this so that I can finish the geisha. Blow this dry. Let's put some highlight over here. Okay, now that it's dry, we can use darker. I use brown. And then I'm going to use black for the hair of the geisha. Ta-da! Okay. There we go. And if you lose your highlights, no? Like here, no? I want to emphasize the highlight. You can use your white. White, this is titanium white by Shinhan PWC. You can use any of your gouache or titanium white. Oh, okay. So I'm going to put white over here and here. A little bit here. And if my geisha is dry, I want to put white over here para yung sa robe niya. Yan. I want to highlight over there. Please don't have. Okay, there we go. And a little bit of highlight here. So there, I will stop there. Oh, I want to put something on the hair. Okay, wait, ha? So let's put red. Pretend she has a flower over here. Ta-da! And that kind of thing at the back. Okay. So now I have more brown. Just some details na lang, no? And then I will stop, promise. Okay. Now let me just focus on that. I hope I can, so you can see. That's the geisha. There. Okay, that's how it looks like. Very simple, not so difficult, but the panoramic scene is complete. And I am done, Nina. Any questions? If there are any questions or violent reactions, did you find it hard? Did you find it easy? Did you paint along?
Enjoy.
I'm not yet done.
So if there's anyone else questions, you enjoyed?
Yes,
Yay!
pero ang bilis. Super marathon.
Yeah. And then on the Google Classroom, we're gonna do this. I hope I can repeat it.
Wow.
Just sonnet. So imagine if you can do, if the nice thing about sonnet, it granulates, ang galing niya. But it's just student grade. So if with your expensive paints, I think this is brighter and a little bit more transparent. But look, this one is just sonnet. It's very bright. Nagulat ako. Okay, there. So any question? Best, di ka nahirapan? Nag-enjoy ka?
Joy, kanya lang huling-huli ako.
Ako din.
Okay lang.
I haven't even colored the rest of my bridge.
Okay, pero you understand how the water, you call this, how you can control the water in your painting.
Yes.
Yeah, it helped that you introduce first the drill muna tayo.
Yeah, kasi magugulantang kayo if I didn't do that.
At least alam namin ang i-expect namin.
Yeah. Okay, anyone else?
No, it's good. It's fun.
Yay! Okay, Nina, ready na ako. Ready ka na?
Yes, pinapalabas ko
Okay.
yung mga tao sa kwarto.
So I turn you over to Nina for the last part of the tutorial.
Thank you so much, Beth. I enjoyed that so much, but kilala mo naman ako, very matipid sa watercolor. So I guess I'm gonna do it again kasi ang saya-saya nung pag fuse nung colors. Anyway, so we're on the last part. I'll just fix my other phone. Wait lang. Okay. All right. So the last demo for this autumn themed ano ba yun? Naubusan na ng words. So the last demo is gonna be about the stairs. So yesterday I sent a photo, yung very malabo. I'm so sorry. Last minute I changed my mind because I think it would be easier for us to paint itong papasok sa forest. And then sa Google Classroom, what I will publish in there is yung nasa forest na. So ayan. So let's get started. I'll show you a quick sketch. So, ito yung magiging itsura niya without the outline. Kasi in-outline ko siya eh. So, yan ang magiging itsura niya. We're gonna paint the stairs papunta doon sa forest, which has autumn-themed na tree. So, I'm just gonna use a clean paper. This is not a watercolor paper, just a regular one. Yan, just show you the quick sketch. Tapos medyo didiinan ko. Pero if you're gonna do it on your watercolor paper, make sure to just lightly sketch it. Sorry. All right.
So, portrait. Sorry, portrait siya, no?
Yes, naka-portrait ang ating orientation. Whatever size of paper you have, that's okay as long as naka-portrait siya. So let's begin. The middle part of your paper, we put a dot. Gently reminder, lightly sketch it if you're already using your watercolor paper. This is just a regular paper, so I'm gonna sketch it dark para mas makita nyo. And I'm going to zoom it a bit. Okay. Sa gitna ng paper natin, portrait orientation, I drew a circle. This is our vanishing point. Now, we're gonna make a triangle pababa. Yeah. Ito ang ating stairs. Tiin na natin, ano? And then we're gonna do parang letter A. Give me just 1 second. Buksan natin ang bintana so it's maliwanag. 1 second, please. Ayan. Okay. So, if you already have the triangle, we're gonna make letter A lang, pero medyo sa baba natin siya. Parang 1/4 of your triangle. Yan. So, it should look like this. Bemper scratch paper ako. Okay, just a second. Sorry, I enjoyed the first 2 demos so much. I forgot na magde-demo din pala ako. So, I have a lot of papers.
Nina, question.
Yes.
The vanishing point, is that like halfway sa paper on a portrait orientation? I mean, at what point ba siya lalagay?
That's a good question. It's in the middle. So halfway.
In the middle, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
halfway
you.
Halfway of lahat ng point. So middle lang siya. Just a second. Yeah. Okay. Dito ko na lang gawin. I'm so sorry. So at this point, we already have our letter A and the 1/4, it should be the starting line. Okay? And then we make patayong line. After that, vanishing point. Make sure it is connected to the vanishing point para pantay sila. That's when you make the landing. So ito, I just learned that sa stairs pala, we have the rise. Yung hakbang niya kung gaano siya kataas. Yan. And then to make the landing, this is the landing yung inaapakan natin. We must refer to our vanishing point. And then close it. And then do the same again. We start with the straight line, di ba? And then slant papunta kay vanishing point. So we're gonna do again the straight line. And then vanishing. Vanishing. Connect it. This is your rise again. Close it. This is gonna be your landing. I hope you can see. Titiinan ko siya. And we're gonna do it until we reach 1/4 sa taas. So I'm just gonna do it again. This is our right. Landing. Great. And then, just to help you, I'm sorry, I forgot. Yung pencil nyo, you can make use of it to like measure how tall your rise is. Ayan, like half of my pencil from the lid, half siya dito. You can do that. So, you can measure. Tanda-tandaan na lang. Or if you have a
Miss-
ruler, that's okay.
Miss
Mhm.
Nina, question.
Yes.
Yung
Opo.
landing ba at saka yung slant, parehong sukat? Yung apakan at saka yung
Landing
And rise.
and the rise.
parehong sukat yon.
That's a very good question. I forgot to mention that. Slightly magkaiba sila on this
Okay.
on this sketch kasi
Okay.
dapat mas what do you call that? Mas malapad. Kailangan mas malapad yung tapakan, yung landing natin. So mas ano to? Mas malapad,
Mas malapad siya.
ng very light. So kunyari ito yung rise natin. Yan yung rise natin kunyari.
Okay.
This one. Sukatin natin ng konti So half siya nung pencil ko from the lead. Yan, half.
Okay.
So we're gonna do that again. So mag-extend lang ako ng konti. As in konti lang. Very, very
mas
konti lang.
Okay, baliktad ako. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
Matatapilok tayo pag mas malaki yung
Oo
rise.
nga eh.
Sabi.
Thank you. Oo.
Okay. You're welcome. All right, so let's continue. Always refer to your vanishing point para pantay siya. So as I said earlier, yeah. Hello? You have a question?
I was going to say, ang galing, may architecture pa.
Actually, my husband coached me because he saw me struggling with the hagdan. So anyway, so ayan, nandiyan na tayo. Ito, 1/4 na tayo nung sa vanishing point, right? I'm just gonna do one more and then we'll stop from there. Just one. Para ito yung magiging exit. Okay. This is the last one. The last part. And also, I'm gonna share the link of a video which you can see the full tutorial of this. Very nice siya. So you can fully understand. Yeah, I'll share it later on sa ating group chat or in the group. Yan. So what I did was, ito na yung last natin, di ba? So palabas na yan. Mamaya ignore na natin siya. Just made 2 lines referencing to our vanishing point, palabas naman, inverted letter A. So letter V ito. Yan. That will serve as our wall. So, ito yung wall natin. Yan. I'm just gonna erase the vanishing point and the unnecessary lines para hindi tayo malito. Okay? You should have this sketch by now. And then, may mark pa ako ng vanishing point ko dito. What I'm gonna do is to add a window right here. So, it should be aligned to your vanishing point as well. Yan. So, one teacher told me to not make it a habit to use a ruler when you're referencing to your vanishing point para mas matuto tayo when it comes to what do you call this? Perspective. Yon. So I find that helpful. But if you need a ruler, that's okay. So this is gonna be the window. Diinan ko siya ha. Ito yung reference natin, which is the vanishing point. And then this is my window. There you go. And then we're just gonna do make some sketch of our flowers and leaves here. And if you're familiar with my work, I am a fan of falling leaves. So, magpa-fall leaves tayo dito. And then on your landing, the first two, actually dun sa pinakababa, and then first two steps, we're gonna put some leaves. Yan. Tapos papunta dito, pakalat. You can kalat it anywhere na malapit dun sa pinaglaglagan. So, linawan natin yung sketch para mas makita nyo. And falling leaf. There you go. And then, sa paglabas natin ng hagdan, exit ng hagdan natin, we're gonna draw a tree. Everybody naman knows how to draw a tree, no? The trunk, and then our tree. Oh, this is gonna be our dark side. And shadow. Meaning, the shadow of our stairs will be on the right side as well. We're gonna focus on putting the shadows sa right side of the rice. Kulayan ko lang siya, but it doesn't mean you have to do that on your sketch. If you want to do so, you can go ahead, but very light lang. I'm just gonna put some trunk behind those two trees. So, I'll just show you, mabilis na mabilis lang, what we're gonna do with the trees, because that's the star of this artwork or demo. We're gonna be using orange, red, and yellow. I think this one is Golden Deep from White Knight, Nevskaya Palitra. I'm just gonna find that para mas sure tayo. Oo, Golden Deep nga siya. Golden Deep, or if you have any shade of yellow or orange, I'm sorry. So since our light source is coming from here, ito yung araw natin. Nandito yung shadow natin. We're gonna do that. We're gonna apply that sa ating trees as well. So I'm gonna divide it into 3, which means this is our highlight. highlight. Ay, napapula. I'm sorry. And the mid-tone. And our shadow. Later, I'll show you the mixture of colors. And then the shadow sa baba. Yan, like that. Okay? Hindi kasi siya watercolor paper. That's why the colors are not moving. So by now, you should have your sketch. And I'm sorry for sending it late. But yeah. There you go. Now, let's color it. Ito ang aking sketch. Dikit ko lang sa ha.
Question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yung trees ba will extend outside the what's this perspective line? Yung pataas?
Yeah, you don't need to reference to the what do you call that, vanishing point when you do the trees. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. All right, so let's go ahead and color it. And I'm not sure if you are able to see my sketch, but if you already have your sketch, then that's good kasi makikita nyo na you can already visualize or know the parts I'm talking about. I'm gonna be using, along the way, I'm just gonna say what color it is, cause I prepared the colors for the other photo. So I'll just do it along the way. I'm using a round brush, size 4. You can use size 4 or size 6, that's okay. As long as the tip of your brush is pointy. Or if not pointy, that's okay as long as hindi siya buhaghag. Okay. So we're gonna start with the trees kasi masaya siyang gawin. Oh, no. We're gonna start with the sky. I'm sorry, I'm hyper today. Masyadong nasiyahan dun sa first 2 demos, no? So, what we're gonna do is to put wash, just blue lang, on top. So, on top of our walls and on top of our trees. Yun lang. Wash lang. Blue. I'm using, let me see, cobalt blue. Oh, it's ultramarine. And I'm using a wash. Actually, it's a modeler pala. Pero if you have a wash, yeah, that's okay. That's just the thing. Make sure to not paint on the walls, ha? And then we're gonna leave the trees as well. Graded wash or just a flat wash is all right. Okay, now we move on to the tree. I'm just gonna zoom it a bit.
Nina, can you put it down? Hindi ko makita yung sky. Yan.
Zoom out ko na lang para makita. Yun. Yes? Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. So the tree, I'm gonna be using yung golden deep natin. And then whatever shade of red you have and yellow or yellow ochre, that's very nice. We're gonna start at the top. Medyo top right. Remember our drawing, top right siya. using a round brush. Just gently pull down the colors. So that's going to be our highlight. What we're going to do is to just add a bit of red, adding first diluted watercolor, which was orange. So do it fastly, or quickly, para fuse ang ating color. And then some parts of your highlight, you can actually add bit of the darker shade. And then our shadow, it has to be darker. So I'm just gonna add a bit of red and a bit of orange. So adding mid-tone, you can actually dab bits of the shadow. Okay, and then we're gonna do that on the other side as well. I'm gonna be using a smaller brush because I think I do it fine when I use smaller brushes. But you can definitely use bigger brushes. So nag-harsh lines tayo dito. What we can do is to just pull it if it's still wet. Okay. The other tree naman, we're gonna do the same. You know, if you have like this color is wait, I'm gonna show you cadmium red light from White Night. It's perfect for autumn. Very nice, like pomelo color. Okay. What I'm doing is doing the shadow for our second tree. Okay. So like I mentioned earlier, no, the shadow you can dab on some part sa ating mid-tone. Okay. Now the trunk of your tree. I'm just gonna clean this up. Okay. The trunk of the tree, I'm gonna be using sepia. And we're just gonna do it sa pinakatuktok niya, just to give the illusion of having shadow. Meron pala tayong trunk sa likod, so you might wanna add that. raw sienna. Connecting the sepia, but only the right side. Ayan. Ito na light natin, diba? Okay, and then clean your brush, and then just drag our raw sienna on the left side. So that's gonna be the light part of the trunk. And then using your sepia again, we're just gonna add some small branches. If you do have like white spaces sa ating tree, that's perfectly fine. What you can do about it is to put small branches. Okay. I actually sketched like one trunk in here, so I'm gonna be adding a tree behind those two trees. Okay. And at this point, I'm already using my shadow color, which is the dark one, because it's behind this na, and natakpan na siya ng other trees. So we think na medyo dark na siya. Okay. Now let's move on to the wall on the right area. I'm going to be using my modeler again. If you do have a wash, flat brush, that's perfectly fine. So what we're going to do is to just wet the right wall area, and then we're going to exclude yung lining ng ating hagdan, which is this. I'm just going to show you my drawing. Ito lang ang ating ito-paint. Okay, the wall. Iiwasin natin yung lines ng rise and landing, okay? So we're just gonna wet that area. Okay, and then I'm going to mix blue or ultramarine, any blue that you have, as long as it is not the same color as the sky. So to do that, we're gonna need help, a little help from our black. So just a little bit, okay? Be careful when you're adding black, kasi pag naparami siya, wala, black na. Just a little bit. And it will give you like a blue-black color, which is very nice. Since that area that we just wetted is still wet, we're just gonna let the color bleed. You know, I'm not really a fan of wetting the paper because I don't know, I'm so scared. But it's happy pala. Kasi it makes you, it makes the color bleed and run. Parang free siya to move. And then you just pull the color. when you pull the colors, make sure, kanina, di ba, iba-ibang angles ko siya kinukuha. Para flat siya, you might wanna do it sa pare-parehong stroke. Ay, naano ka ng aking outline here, but that's okay. Okay. And then, magli-leave lang tayo dito sa edges na konting-konti from our mixture. Just to give depth nga. Mas shadow siya doon sa dulo kasi pa-exit na siya. Alright, so darker here. Alright. Very easy lang, no? And then, going back to my round brush, we're gonna paint the stairs na. Remember, our shadow is on the right side, so we're gonna focus on that. I'm just gonna, on my mixture of black and blue, I'm just gonna add more blue to it, pero not so much, para lang maalis yung pagka-black niya ng konti. And then, just add a little bit of green or viridian. If you have viridian or green, either of those two. Just a little bit. So, naparami ako. I'm just gonna add one. Ayan. And then, that's when you add a little bit of black. Okay. I'm gonna start on my first prize.
Viridian.
Actually, iwawash natin siya. However, mas dark yung sa right side natin since our shadow lies there. And then you just pull the colors from right to left. And do the same to all your rice. Lahat lang ng rice natin ha. So make sure, ano naman siya salitan. So rice, landing, rice, landing. Okay. Now I'm gonna proceed to doing it on my second rice. Rice tayo ng rice, no? Nakakagutom tuloy. Okay. Then just pull the color. Para tayo nagsaswatch. So as you notice, dark na ang ating right side. And then later on, we're gonna add one more layer to to execute ang ating shadow. Ngayon, di ko makita yung sketch ko. Okay. This is my last rice. Alright. Now, we're just gonna add doon sa ating shadow, darker shade of the mixture that we just did. blue, a little bit of viridian, and a little bit of black. Pero this time, mas marami yung black ng kaunti kaysa sa viridian para mas maging darker siya. Okay? What I'm gonna do is to just do the same step again. Darker. And then I'm just gonna dry my brush. You can dab it on a paper towel so you can move it. You know, when I was starting, very matipid. I don't really buy a lot of papers, whatever I have, o kung ano yung bigay, yun lang ginagamit ko. But, simula nung nasali ako sa Watercolor Aficionados, because of Michelle and Beth, I realized that using quality papers will actually make your artwork better. Kasi if you settle for like cheapy pie papers, well, they are good. I'm not against it. It's just that the results are very different. So once in a while, you might want to use quality papers. Actually, the paper I'm using, I'm sorry, I wasn't able to tell you. It's Arches, so it's 300 GSM. Very nice. Yung titipirin mo talaga kasi ang mahal niya. So, nakakatakot magkamali, no? Okay. So, let's do it quickly. I'm sorry. It's 12 na pala.
Lalo na kung Daniel Smith yung paint mo, no? Yun.
Naku! Oo naman. Kaso naman, ang Daniel Smith ko, sa sobrang katipiran ko sa buhay, ayan, oh, isa lang siya. Anyway, isa lang bigay pa. Pero oo, napakaganda nun, ano?
Very vibrant. Very transparent, actually. Yung transparency niya yung di mapantayan.
Ko din, ang Daniel Smith ko, bigay lang din.
Ang kuripot natin, di ba?
Mahal eh, oo. Shinhan for the win.
That's why you have the dot cards if you want to try. There are Daniel Smith dot cards.
Dot cards?
Right.
It's worth it.
Ang mahal pa rin. Kuripot. All right, so we're done. Well, we're almost done with actually we're done with the stairs. I'm just gonna put something sa ibaba ng ating trunks para naman hindi sila malungkot. Like what you did when you painted the trees, ganun din. So orange and a mixture of red with orange. And of course, our shadow. Konti na lang, bintana na lang, and then the falling leaves, and then we're done. Okay. Now, our window here. Using the same mixture, yung ginamit natin sa pang-shadow ng ating hagdan. So, I'm actually painting on the shadow lang ng gilid ng ating bintana. Bigay todo yung pagkahugas ng brush natin sana. Ooh.
Naririnig ba?
Ang sarap sa tenga kaya.
Yung glass.
Okay. And then, paulit-ulit lang ang ating steps sa demo na ito, which makes it very nice. the window natin, we're gonna add, of course, our flowers, and you really don't need to put a lot of details in here. Just dab your brush. I'm using the round brush. Orange, and then mixture of red and orange. Wait lang. Mixture of red and orange right here. In the middle part of that floral arrangement. Yan. And then sa baba, talagyan natin ng shadow. So last night, I was worried because the first photo I sent, medyo challenging siya, and 1 hour is not enough. So I thought, yung pala hindi rin enough yung 1 hour dito. Alright, so let's paint some falling leaves. Yan. You might have like 2 variations of colors para it's okay. When you paint the leaves, you can just use the tip of your brush. That's why I asked you to have or to use like the pointy round brush. Ganito lang siya. Idadab niyo lang yung point and then lift. Like that lang. Okay. And let's do the same sa ating leaves on the landing. Dahil kalat na siya, it's okay na kalat yung itsura niya. Just make sure that you put the leaves on the landings na katapat ng bintana or pwedeng paghinangin mapunta doon. Here, this is what I'm talking about. When you use like quality paper, yung wet and wet technique will just be easy. Pag mga chitipay kasing paper, tuyo na siya kaagad. Okay. Just gonna add red on some part. Yan, parang yung trees ni Beth kanina. Just like that. Meron tayo dito. Very konti. Just to give the illusion na nasa edge siya. Okay. And using my round brush na size 0, I'm just gonna get some red here. So this is wet on dry na. Kanina wet on wet siya. What I'm doing is dabbing just to give an illusion na may weight siya. May something siya kasi flat siya eh. So we're giving it a texture. And then using your green. This one says green lang, but Cooker's green, I think, is the same with this shape. On some parts. Okay. And lastly, para hindi manakawan yung may-ari na itong bahay, lagyan natin ng something sa gitna. A very, 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 very light wash of our blue black. Very, very light na siya. So it's the consistent. And then we put outline the inner side. Ta-da! So that's it. There you go. That's our stairs going to the forest. Wait for the Google Classroom. I'm gonna be releasing naman yung stairs na nasa forest. Okay, so ngayon
nice.
sneak peek pala.
Yay! Nasa
Thank you.
perspective, nahirapan ako doon.
Pareho lang tayo kasi na-stress din ako nung tinuro yan sa akin. But it was worth it. And I'm gonna do the sketching din sa Google Classroom and the link to the video so you can better understand it. But that's it. I hope you were able to paint it. And I'm not sure if we still have time, but if you do have questions, feel free to ask us. Meron naman tayong group chat and mas maganda doon sa ating group. Yun lang. Thank you so much.
Then maybe we can announce
Thank you.
for the subscriber and the member giveaway for the month of September.
Yes, oo nga pala. Good thing you reminded me of it. I was able to draw it kanina. I'm just gonna post it sa ating group chat or sa ating Facebook group para para mas makita nyo. Pero sinulat ko na. So for the member, I was able, wait lang. Ang pangalan niya? Lori. For the member, our winner is Lori. She will be receiving a round brush, Neptune, and bamboo brush.
Dalawa yung last name, dalawa yung Lori sa group. Ano last name ni Lori dyan?
Wait lang, titignan ko sa chat ko ha.
Miss Nina? Miss Nina? Pwede pakita ulit ng picture? Patingin lang sa screen. Yung pinaint mo. Patingin
okay,
lang.
wait. Sure. Saglit lang ha.
Okay.
Inend ko yung video ng isa. I'm sorry, but this is the picture.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then the Lori who won. Ano ba naman ako? Lori Rodriguez.
She won the Oro chocolate also. She was one of the first winners.
Oh, so shall I?
No, separate na lang. Kasi ship ko yan dito, tapos double din.
Okay. Sige. Separate na lang. And then the winner, the subscriber winner is Sandy.
Again? Wow! Congratulations!
2 times ko siyang tas Sandra talaga.
Wow! Bakit mo pinabago sana?
Congrats! Chine-check ko lang yung swerte mo. Ikaw naman.
Ganun ako kaswerte.
Lisa, swerte ba yan o ano?
Joke lang yun, ha?
Sandy, nagko-question na ako.
Kasi nanalo ako ulit. Chocolate ulit?
Hindi. Yung
brushes.
Wow!
Ayan, may partner ka niya dyan sa napakarami mong watercolors.
Congrats!
Okay, thank you. See you guys later.
See you.
Thank you, everyone. I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties today, but definitely this one will be posted today on the group for the other members. I was able to stream through YouTube, no? But fix Facebook. Okay? Thank you so much.
Lahat ng ginawa niyo nakakatakot. Pero very
Thanks,
good.
everyone.
Ano na yung perspective? Let's go.
Sorry.
No, it's very enjoyable nga eh. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye,
You're
everyone.
welcome. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Have lunch.